So the first question that I have is about cyanocobalamin. People are asking, what is cyanocobalamin, and is this something I would recommend? Cyanocobalamin is a synthetic form of vitamin B12. It's more or less a generic man-made form. And so I do not recommend cyanocobalamin. And as a matter of fact, I always tell people, this is an easy way to tell if your vitamin supplement that you're taking or anything that you're taking is good or not. It's called the B12 test. Look at the ingredients on anything that you have, and if you see cyanocobalamin on there, you know automatically that it was a cheaply made product and that it's not good for you. And the reason why is a lot of people have a hard time reading ingredients. They don't know what the difference is between, let's say, vitamin E, D-alpha tocopherol. So they'll see D-alpha tocopherol succinate. So how this deception works is the pharmaceutical companies and even some of the other companies, dietary supplement companies, what they do is they use synthetic molecules and try to fool people that they're actually good for you. And anything that you buy at a drugstore, anything you buy at a grocery store, anything that you buy cheap nutritional supplements, you will find that they're going to contain a majority of synthetic compounds. So another good thing to look for on the label would be calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate is nothing more than chalk. It clogs up your system. So cyanocobalamin, calcium carbonate would be two recommendations that I would recommend that you look for on your label. And people have a hard time breaking down cyanocobalamin. Cyanocobalamin, by definition, is actually a cyanide molecule attached to a cobalamin molecule. So it's not good for you, and your body has a hard time breaking it down. That's the reason why, if you look at what the body uses for its active form of B12, it uses methylcobalamin, and it also uses adenosylcobalamin. So no matter what source of B12 that you get through your food, it's really hard, what we're finding out, for people to break down B12. But in the normal biochemical process, if the body breaks down B12, it's going to break it down into two molecules, which is methylcobalamin and adenosylcobalamin. And that's why we use in our B12 formula adenosylcobalamin and methylcobalamin. So you don't even have to break it down. It's already broken down for you, and it goes straight into your system. So I hope that that answers your question. The next question is, how do you recommend adopting a meatless diet? As I've said many times before, the human body is not designed to eat meat. We do not have claws or paws to chase down our food. We have fingers, which are used to pull plants, pull leaves, pick berries, pick nuts from trees. We were never designed to be meat eaters. Number two, we do not secrete hydrochloric acid in our mouth. Every other animal that's a meat eater secretes hydrochloric acid in our mouth. If you take a closer look, we secrete amylase and ptyalin in our mouth, and that is used specifically, or the enzymes that we secrete in our mouth are used specifically to break down plant foods. That's the second proof that we're not supposed to eat meat. The third proof that we're not supposed to eat meat is we do not have a pipe-like digestive system like carnivorous animals do. Carnivorous animal eats meat, it goes in, it goes out. We have a herbivore's digestive system. The enzymes we secrete, we have 30 feet of intestinal tract. It's all used to break down cellulose and to break down plant matter. So we, by definition, are not made to eat meat. Now, with that being said, how do you transition off a meat diet or do a meatless diet? And my answer to that is slowly. Because we've been conditioned and because our bodies adapt to our environment over a period of time, and depending on what type of blood type you are, like an O blood type, an O positive blood type like myself, it's not recommended that we cold turkey or just get off meat right away. And for that matter, it's really not a good idea to cold turkey or get off anything right away. Whether it's drugs, whether it's alcohol, whether it's cigarettes, whether it's meat, whether it's whatever. Because the body always builds up a tolerance. So I recommend that you slowly eliminate the toxic things from your diet and from your life, for example. Meat being one of those. When I got off of meat, I just cold turkeyed it and I felt really bad, low energy, and then I started eating it a little bit more. Now it's been probably close to 16 years that I've been completely off of meat. I've gone completely raw for a while. I've been mostly vegan for the last 15, 16 years. The only time I haven't been is every now and then I'll have some raw goat cheese or raw sheep cheese. So that's different than eating any type of cow meat. But I don't have any type of animal where the animal gets injured or where the animal gets hurt. So transition slowly to a meatless diet. And that means, nowadays, it's a lot easier these days because they have so many meat substitutes out there. And just a word of the wise, I do believe that soy is toxic unless it's fermented. So I would highly recommend you avoid soy. It's an endocrine disruptor. It increases your estrogen levels. Pea protein, hemp protein. I have a protein drink every day that I make, and it has fresh pecans, raw pecans in it, which pecans, by the way, have all of the amino acids you need. So when people are transitioning off of meat, I always usually recommend that they start eating more raw nuts and seeds, like raw pecans, nuts, seeds, and then it's very, very hard to be on a vegetarian or a vegan ketogenic diet. But I also recommend people avoid GMO foods and also slowly eliminate gluten from their diet and bread. I mean, we have been conditioned as a society. As a matter of fact, I was having a conversation with someone earlier today about children. And children these days, there's been studies that show that 90% of the food that children are eating contain high levels of sugar and wheat. Basically, kids are being fed sugar and wheat. If you go in a school and you see the green beans there and you think, oh, that's healthy, my kid is eating green beans. Well, guess what? Those green beans came from a can that have BPA and toxic plastics. They were probably heated in a microwave, which means they're killed completely and have no nutritional value. And the third thing is they're full of sugar. All of those canned foods. And then you look at the school lunches, and trust me, I've looked at schools and looked at their school lunches and worked with the chefs in schools. It is a political system and is designed to keep kids on sugar and wheat. Now you can find massive amounts of research that's coming out on the link between the mind and the gut. The mind and the gut are one. They're connected. Everything. The gut produces serotonin and the gut regulates dopamine in the mind. I mean, we have such a connection between the mind and the gut. And what my job is, and what my job has been, and what I've been trying to teach people for the last 20 years is look at the root cause. Let's address the root cause of the problem. Let's quit putting a Band-Aid over everything and giving people drugs and prescribing all these antidepressants and all this stuff to kids and adults when all they need to do is look at what they're putting in their body and fix and repair the gut, clean the liver, clean all the harmful organisms out of the body. You know, let's go back to the basics. It's very simple. It's very simple. I've dealt with every single disease you can possibly imagine. Even stuff been contacted by scientists, biochemists, disease specialists, with people that they don't even know what it is. They've run every single test on everybody. They can't even find what these people have. It's like Morgellons, you name it. There is nothing that I have not seen completely go away when the individuals change their diet, their environment. In other words, they eliminate all the toxic things from their environment. They eliminate all the toxic things from their diet. And they cleanse their body through intermittent fasting, through all of the cleanses that we have, through the intestinal cleanse, through the liver and gallbladder cleanse, through the harmful organism cleanse, through the fungus, yeast, mold cleanse, kidney cleanse. I mean, it all goes back to cleansing and addressing the root cause of the situation. And that's what I'm trying to, really, the message I'm trying to get out is to empower people, to give people faith, to give people hope that you have the power within you. You don't need, doctors. You are the best doctor. You have the most power within you to heal yourself. But we have so much opposition to that. We have so much, I get ridiculed and criticized every single day for trying to tell people the truth. And it's common sense. I mean, it really is. It's like, God has given us every single thing that we need to heal ourselves. If it's man-made, it's probably bad for you. If it's God-made, it's good for you. That's all you have to live by right there. I mean, but again, I've always promoted the 90-10 rule or the 80-20 rule. I've talked a lot about the fact that, you can also be too strict on yourself. Like what happened to me. And when I was a strict raw food and I was meditating every single day and I had no alcohol consumption and nothing was going into my body. And, I was actually depressed after a year of doing that because I wasn't invited anywhere. No one invited me to any parties. I lost all my friends. I was the weirdo. I'm still considered the weirdo. My family is still like the weird family. But you know what? That's fine with me because I know that what we're doing in this mission that we're on is helping people every single day, and that's what it's all about. Even if you tell one person, or if you help one other person change the way they feel, or you educate someone about the truth or how easy it is to heal themselves. There's so much fear involved with disease. There's so much fear involved with cancer. There's so much fear involved with the medical system. You go to the doctor. Half the time, they don't even know what test to run. They don't even know what you have. People go to 2 or 3 different doctors and they get 3 different diagnoses. There's so much frustration. It's just saddening. But the good news is, we're out here to help you and to help you understand and to answer your questions, and to try to give you the best possible solutions and information that we can. Can I still absorb turmeric without taking it with black pepper? Now, this is a big question that I get all the time. Actually, whoever asked that question, thank you for asking that question, because we've done a lot of research into this, and we do put black pepper in our turmeric for absorption. But I think it has a lot more to do with how the turmeric is extracted and the molecule size. So our turmeric, we invented a new process called the raw herbal extract technology. Our turmeric is the first product that's gone through our new innovation that we've been working 7 years on. I wanted to figure out a way that we could extract all of the vital compounds of the herb, all of the resins, the oleoresins, the essential oils, everything, because no other company out there is doing a raw herbal extraction. They're all using high heat and alcohol and destroying the plant. And the end product, you just get maybe 25% of the active components. So about 6-7 years ago, I decided I want to develop an extraction method to where I can extract everything from the plant and I can do it in its raw process. We've invested a lot of money into this technology. But the turmeric that we've done, and it's an extraction process using a special type of water and a special, when I say special, it's a triple distilled, energized type of water. And then it's a certified organic glycerin. A glycerin is a very potent formula. And what we figured out how to do through vortexing and all this other stuff is to encapsulate, like a lipospheric C, what we've done is done a glycerospheric technology to where we actually wrap the glycerin molecule around the molecules. Now, how does that help and how does that increase the potency? So I don't think with this type of extraction, with a raw extraction, with a glycerospheric technology, that you would actually need to take or mix it with a black pepper. Although, again, I think that any time that you take any type of pepper, cayenne, black pepper, you're always going to increase the benefits of whatever herb that you're taking, because peppers are known to increase the heat levels, and they're also known to open up the capillaries. Okay, so do I think that you're going to get the absorption of turmeric without taking it with black pepper? That depends on many, many different factors. Depends on your enzyme secretion in your mouth. It depends on your hydrochloric acid in your stomach. It depends on your digestive enzymes in your duodenum and your small intestine. It depends on many different things. But I do believe with the glycerospheric technology, with the other components of the turmeric, there's many, many constituents in herbs. And like I said, with most extraction processes, you're only getting about 25%. I think the most important ones and the most powerful ones are the other 75%. This is something I've been trying to invent for a long time. How can we extract all the healing components of a plant and do it in a raw state without using heat or without using alcohol? And we've done that with our turmeric. And we actually sent it in for testing. And it was 30,000 times. We took a lot of other liquid turmerics and sent them in, and it was 30,000 times the potency, the energetic value. When it comes down to it, it's all energetics. That's what we are. We are energy. Cells produce energy. If you look at everything, it's when you get disease, you have low energy. When you're in perfect health, you have high energy. So a nutritional supplement in the future will be based, what I think is going to be based and measured. I think everybody will have a device in their home that they can set a product on top of and measure the energetic value of that product. Actually, it'll probably be worked into phones. So you can take that into a Whole Foods or wherever you're going to get your supplements from, and you can actually put it up against the supplement and it reads the energetic value. It's very, very hard to do that actually right now because you're looking at a quantum energy field. And there's not really any testing out there. Dr. Rain is one of the only ones that I know of right now that's actually pioneering the ability to test the quantum energy fields, which is a whole nother subject. But yes, I would say you can still take turmeric without taking it with black pepper, but anytime you have any type of pepper, you're always going to increase the absorption of whatever you're taking. Okay. The next question is another really good question, and that is, there are so many probiotic strains out there. How do I know which one is the best for me? Wow. That is a really good question out there, and that is something that we are constantly evaluating. It seems like every single day there's somebody coming out with new probiotics. You have pharmaceutical companies right now coming out. We have such a trend right now, a gut trend. I've been talking about gut health for 20 years, and finally, it's one of those trending topics right now that everybody wants to get into. The pharmaceutical companies are buying up all the probiotic manufacturers, and we're starting to see more and more strains being patented. We're seeing more and more formulas coming out. And the only way I can answer that question is, I constantly look at ways we can improve probiotics, and it's not only probiotics, but it's prebiotics. Prebiotics are what the probiotics feed on. We are constantly looking at new probiotics that we can put in our formulas. One of the things I love about the Lateroflora is that it's a spore forming. So I would recommend soil-based microorganisms, which you can actually get if you still have a little bit of dirt left on if you have your own garden and you still have a little bit of dirt on your fruits and your vegetables. I suggest the Floratrex product that we have because we put and use the best sources of probiotics that we can find that are all cultured. It goes into quality also. I recommend that if you're taking a probiotic, I'm not saying that most of the probiotics out there are fairly decent because most people there's only so many strains you can use, right? The issue is with how those probiotics were cultured. Were those probiotics cultured on GMO soy base? Were those probiotics cultured on a gelatin base from USDA slaughterhouses? Were those how were those probiotics made and in what conditions? And then a lot of people spray dry the probiotics. This is the second issue I would ask anybody who you're getting probiotics from, because we looked at all these things when we do all of our probiotics. And I can tell you that the majority of probiotics out there are sprayed with maltodextrin. They're sprayed with magnesium stearate. They're sprayed with some sort of synthetic fat, vegetable magnesium stearate or something, which ends up clogging the liver and is very, very, very hard to eliminate from the body. So it's not necessarily, when you're looking at probiotic strains, how do you know which one is the best for you? It's more or less looking at the company. Do you trust the company? Is it a high quality company? Do they have lots of good reviews? How long has the company been around? Calling the company, asking them about where is the probiotic formula vegan? That's a big question. How are they doing the processing on the probiotics? Are the probiotics safe to use? Are the probiotics safe to use at a high level? And are the probiotics unique? Lateroflora was developed, the Bacillus laterosporus strain was found to be extremely effective at fighting off fungus, yeast, and mold. And that's a huge situation that we're dealing with today. So it takes with your health, I still have to do a lot of research on myself and a lot of research on my health, and I've been doing it for 20 years. It's like making it a priority that you take care of your health. And with everybody and their brother and their sister and everybody trying to get into this market right now, I can tell you we probably have 2 or 3 offers from big pharmaceutical companies or private equity companies that are trying to buy us every single week. And it's sad. This is a family-owned business. Since 1998, we've never taken any private equity from anybody because we're here with our one mission, and our mission is you, the customer, and getting the right information out to you. And we're going to stay a family-owned and family-run company because I don't want to be told what to sell and what to do because of money or to make shareholders happy. That's just not the way I am. I mean, this was a mission. This was a vision I had a long time ago. This is something I love to do. This is a passion of mine. And what better job in the world is there than to help people every single day? You know, but a lot of our profits go to helping plant trees, we're going to be putting, people have been asking us what we do with our money and how we give it back. I personally help people for free, people that need help, that are suffering from conditions, that don't have any money. We spend thousands and thousands of dollars giving free care to people. I don't see patients. I'm not allowed to see patients because of the FDA and because of what we're doing and how, which is another really sad thing, that people that really are out there and doctors that care and that are passionate about helping people are not allowed to do so because of the threats from the pharmaceutical companies and all the other stuff. But you know, that's what it's all about. It's about helping people and giving people the right knowledge and helping people change their life. So probiotics, you know, you're going to have to just find and do a little bit of research on that and determine which ones you think work the best. And it's not bad to change those up either, you know, taking different probiotics and trying new strains of probiotics out there. So, I mean, in my opinion, you really don't ever buy probiotics again from the grocery store, from, you know, cheap places. Just don't buy cheap probiotics. But most everybody uses the same strains. They might have a few different ones, but for the most part, everybody uses the same strains. The big difference you're going to find is the fillers, excipients, and how the strains were grown. That's what I would look at. Okay, the next question is, I don't have a thyroid. Do I still need to take iodine? Iodine is needed for every single cell in the body. And if you don't have a thyroid, there's even more reason to take iodine. As you've known, I would highly recommend that everybody, if they have the time, to watch my Everything You Need to Know About Iodine video on YouTube. I really get deep into, I have a webinar that's an hour long on hormones, on endocrine disrupting chemicals, on how to clean and detoxify your home, your kitchen, your bathroom. I mean, I have great videos that are all for free on YouTube. And I'm going to be coming out with more and more and more videos that just give you all of these tips and techniques. So there's no reason that anybody should be sick with all this information. We have tons of information. If you go to our website, globalhealingcenter.com, and you type in iodine in the search bar, and then you go to health articles, we have a lot of articles on our site that talk about all of the things that you need to know about iodine, with thyroid, with fibrocystic breast disease, all of the symptoms. How do you know if you're iodine deficient? What can you take iodine with? The best times to take iodine. All this information is already there. As a matter of fact, most everything you can think of, we already have information on. If we don't, then we will get it for you. Let us know. But everybody that I've found that I've been evaluating needs iodine on a regular basis. We are all deficient of iodine. And it's a known fact. Even the World Health Organization, you can go in and type in iodine deficiency. The CDC, you can go type iodine deficiency. Because we have so much contamination with chlorine, bromine, fluoride, the halogens, which iodine is part of, that's why we need to take excess iodine, because iodine will also help detoxify those toxic halogens from the body. Another question here is, how can I detox from fluoride? And the answer to that is, number one, eliminate fluoride water from your diet. There's testing kits now that you can test for fluoride coming out of your faucet in your home, so you're not cooking with it, you're not showering with it, you have shower filtration systems. Depending on where you live, there's different levels of fluoride in the water, but you could easily get a home test kit You can test your fluoride and just not drink any water with fluoride in it. Most restaurants, 90% of the restaurants out there, are going to cook with fluoride, use tap water in all their stuff. So use bottled water. However, I have been asking good organic restaurants lately if they use tap water, and some of them are changing over, and some of them have filtration systems. But just so you know, most filtration systems do not get rid of fluoride. They get rid of a lot of the chemicals, but they don't get rid of fluoride, which can be expensive to get rid of in your home. But there's always ways and there's always solutions to do that. Iodine will help you detoxify yourself from fluoride. It's one of the great things to use for fluoride and bromine. If you eat bread at all, you're going to have excess bromine in your system. If you swim in any pools or you're exposed to chlorine in any way, shape, or form, you're going to have chlorine in your system, which most people do. And then you're going to also have fluoride. So I highly recommend, that's another big reason I recommend taking iodine on a regular basis, is so you can detoxify these toxic halogens from your system. And fluoride, by the way, calcifies your pineal gland. And I think we might even have some articles on that as well. Another reason why people are having so many problems and situations with mental depression, anxiety, sadness, unhappiness, lack of spirituality, always looking for something to make them happy, lack of self-confidence, anxiety, stress, all of these things is because of all these chemicals, all these toxic chemicals that are coming into your head. You know, it's making you feel this way all the time. And happiness comes from within, in my opinion. One of the greatest things I've ever discovered in my life is meditation. I've logged close to 5,000 hours now of meditation. And my goal is to get to 10,000 hours. And I can honestly say that once you reach probably around 2,500 hours, and meditation is just going within and finding who you are. You know, every single religious text that's ever been written, whether it's the Bible, whatever it is, always talks about the kingdom of heaven is within. And when you picture your head as a meditation chamber, like it's hollow, and you're sitting in a chair in the middle of your meditation chamber, and you can decorate it with whatever you want. I mean, this is what I found is the best way to get out of the world, because your mind always wants to think outside. And you want to bring your thoughts inside. You want to, you know, in the best way that I've found to do that is to create a chamber of happiness inside your head. So you can picture like the Astrodome, or you could picture this big chamber, this hollow chamber with windows looking out at the stars, and the windows open up and you get nice cool breeze coming in, and you can have flowers around in there. You can have a little walking path through your garden. You can have but the key is to have a big chair or a small chair or sitting on the ground or whatever right in the middle. If you take your fingers and point through your ears, and you take another finger and point through your third eye, right in the center of your dome or your meditation chamber is where you should sit. And that is the key to, you can do anything you want from there. You can use your imagination. You can talk to Jesus if you want. You can relax. It's your place that you can go to happiness. And the more that you do that, and the more time that you spend there, one of the great secrets of life is learning how to interact with your soul. Learning how to interact with your soul. And that's where your soul sits, right there. That's where your soul sits, right in there. And the more you practice, the better you get. And true happiness comes from within. And that's just a fact. I mean, you know, people say, oh yeah, when I have money, I'm going to be happy. Or when I have this, I'm going to be happy. I know people that are billionaires, multimillionaires, and they're coming to me. They're like, a lot of times they're the ones that are the most unhappy. So, you know, health also has a lot to do with that. And getting back to the iodine subject, iodine, I've found, is one of the best things to help you detoxify the pineal gland. The pineal gland is that gland that is kind of right there that helps you with your spiritual connection. It's, you know, when you pray, that's, you know, all of the priests and everything a long time ago would say when you pray, you have a crystal inside your pineal gland, and that's how your messages go up. And that's been proven in autopsies, actually. You can type it in Google and look and type in crystal in pineal gland. And they've dissected the pineal gland of monks and spiritual leaders and priests, and they found that the pineal, the more you pray, the bigger the crystal gets. The more time you spend in meditation, the more time you spend in prayer, the more time you give to God, the more good you do for people, the bigger your crystal gets inside your pineal gland. I mean, there's so much stuff that we're not being taught. It just blows my mind. I never think that I'm ever gonna, I just constantly continue to soak up and learn how to improve. And just like I'm constantly reading books, I'm constantly doing personal development, I'm constantly doing spiritual work to progress myself. And iodine actually helps that, and with the meditation and the faith and having hope and with your health. I mean, it's amazing, you know, how much self-confidence you can get and how much progression you can get with just taking care of your health. Because we have to take care of our physical temple also that we've been given. All right, so what is a natural way to address leaky gut syndrome? This is one of the easiest things. I mean, this is one of the most prevalent things that's out there and one of the easiest things to fix. I love when people come to me that have gut problems, whether it's celiac, whether it's constipation, whether it's leaky gut syndrome. By the way, practically everybody has leaky gut syndrome. I mean, I'm just going to tell you that right now. If you drink alcohol, you drink artificial sweeteners, you eat meat, you have GMOs, you have yeast, and you have fungus in your bowel. I mean, to some degree, everybody has leaky gut syndrome. I would even say I probably have a little bit of leaky gut syndrome, and I'm pretty much drink nothing but water and eat healthy foods. But the environment in which we live, I mean, think about all the stress. Just stress alone causes leaky gut syndrome. I mean, I could list 1 million causes of leaky gut syndrome. And not only that, but just gut health in general, or gut dishealth. I've said for a long time, the gut and the intestinal tract is the root cause of all disease, and it's also the solution to eliminating disease. All in one place. The gut is your skin turned inside out. Like when you eat, your gut is outside, right? I mean, it's not exposed to the inside. Your whole gut is exposed to the external environment. So what you put in your gut ultimately leaks through into your system and poisons it. If you breathe poisonous air, it's going to go in through your lungs, into your bloodstream, and to a certain degree, it's going to be deposited somewhere, or it's going to try to go through your liver and be detoxified. If you eat or drink anything that has any toxic or anything that's dead or anything that's lost its energy source or anything that's not alive, it's going to drain your energy and it's going to become toxic. Now, this is all easy to say. I mean, this is all easy to say. Yeah, it's easy to say, eat live foods, take supplements, cleanse your body on a regular basis, and everything's going to go away. The hard part is actually doing it. The hard part is actually committing and being disciplined to 80% of the time doing everything right and 10% of the time doing things fun, so you're not so strict that it's causing social disruption or marriage disruption or even you not being happy with yourself. I mean, because I did that and I learned that you do need a certain amount of leeway. You do need a certain amount of leeway. But I also looked at the percentage of sick people and unhealthy people. And I can say that currently, on average, people are doing the 30-70 rule, which means they're only doing maybe 30% of the time they're doing things right, and 70% of the time they're eating bad foods and drinking bad things. So if you just reverse that, and some people are doing 10-90, like they might eat a healthy meal once a month or something, and they're like 10% of the time they're doing good things, and 90% of the time they're doing bad things. So we're as a society, we're completely flipped upside down. Our healthcare is completely flipped upside down. Most people out there, I would say 90% of people all over the world are 30-70, maybe even 25-75, which means 25% of the time they're doing good stuff and 75% of the time they're doing bad stuff. So even if you start climbing, even if you start switching that and start going to 40-60, and then go to 50-50, and then go to 55-65 or whatever, or then go to 60, going up to 60-40. If you're above in the good and below, and then try to go to 70-30, 70% good, 30% bad, and then try to go to 80-20. I mean, that's how you're making progress, and that's a natural way to not only address leaky gut syndrome, but how to address everything and how to become a better person and a healthier person. And the gut, the good thing is it's one of the fastest ways that it heals. The gut is made of epithelial tissue, and the epithelial tissue is epithelial cells, and epithelial cells regenerate themselves every 24 hours. So the gut heals extremely fast, just like the skin does. So the good news is if you change your diet, if you start taking good probiotics, if you get rid of all the parasites and harmful organisms in the gut, if you cleanse the gut on a regular basis with oxy powder, then you can control and heal the leaky gut, and you take the gluten out of your system. Gluten is extremely bad for your gut. You start eliminating some of those acid foods like meat and colas and stuff like that. Then your gut is going to heal. But until you stop putting those things in, yes, you can take probiotics every day. You can take oxy powder a couple times a week, and you can kind of get by with it. And iodine is very important for the gut tissue to heal. So iodine is another thing I would recommend for healing the gut. Now, the last question that I have for today is, what can I do to naturally support my cardiovascular health? I heard about a guy the other day that was a bodybuilder. He was in great health. Well, supposedly great health. And the guy was ripped, and he was 40, and he had a heart attack. Everybody thought this guy was, how could that possibly happen? This guy's in the gym for 2 hours a day, working out, low body fat, does cardio. How could this guy have a heart attack at 40? This happens all the time. Runners, you would think, hey, they're in great shape, and then they have a heart attack out of the blue. Cardiovascular health has a lot to do with live versus dead food. If you look at a lot of the diets, and I've done this, of bodybuilders, athletes, professional athletes, they have some of the worst diets. To this day, I don't understand Why? I know because the teams hire registered dietitians, which are trained the wrong way. They're trained to teach the athletes how to eat off the food pyramid, which is wrong. But the majority of these athletes are in horrible health. Their cardiovascular systems are horrible because they eat meat all the time. They're on these paleo, and all they eat is meat and eggs. And then they just have rice, a little bit of rice and chicken breasts and all this stuff. It's like the worst diet. So my recommendations for cardiovascular health is start eating more vegan-based, more live foods. Secondly is intermittent fasting or fasting is incredible for the cardiovascular system. I mean, you want to repair your heart and your cardiovascular system. I mean, look at Dr. Alan Goldhammer's study where he took hundreds of people with high blood pressure, fasted them for 10 to 14 days. 100% of the people were off their blood pressure medications at the end of 14 days on a water-only fast. Now, if you do have cardiovascular issues and you do want to go through that, I recommend that you go to his clinic and do a medically supervised water fast. But intermittent fasting is incredibly beneficial for the cardiovascular system. Eating healthy live foods, like I said, healing the gut lining is great for the cardiovascular system. Iodine is great for the cardiovascular system. Essential fatty acids are great for the cardiovascular system. Calcium orotate, magnesium orotate, potassium orotate are extremely beneficial for the cardiovascular system. We have a product called Hematrex, which is designed as a blend of herbs which supports the cardiovascular system. I'll tell you one of the best things for the cardiovascular system is doing a liver cleanse. A liver and gallbladder cleanse is freeing up the ability, talking about the root cause. Okay, when you start accumulating too much fat and too much plaque in your cardiovascular system, that's the root cause of that is your liver not functioning correctly. Otherwise, you wouldn't. Leaky gut and liver, because all that stuff is leaking through into your bloodstream, and that's what's causing the plaquing, that's what's causing the fatty deposits, all that stuff. So if you have or you're worried about your cardiovascular system or your cardiovascular health, you need to be doing at least 2 liver cleanses every single year. Taking all those proper supplements, exercising, and the last bit of advice, the one that I think ruins the majority of cardiovascular systems out there is stress. Stress and anxiety. Stress can override health. I mean, when we were working with cancer patients and had 5, 6 cancer patients on the same exact program, and 4 of them were getting better and 2 of them were going down, the only difference that we could identify was the stress levels in those 2. Like, if you don't believe something's working and you're stressed about it, and usually those cancer patients were forced into it by a family member, and they didn't even believe in what they were doing, and they still didn't believe in natural health, and they were still completely stressed out, and they were still didn't have any hope. They didn't have any faith. This is just how powerful your mind is. You can take the best supplements in the world. You can detoxify. You can even be on a vegan, whole food, raw diet. Most likely, if you're doing that, because your body's so clean, you're going to be happy and you're not going to be so stressed and you're not going to be in that scenario. But I've seen scenarios where stress alone and negative emotional patterns have overridden all of the good things that you can do for your body. And stress, you can link stress to every single disease or condition out there. So it's almost, but another thing that I've seen, a miraculous thing that I've seen, is as people start cleansing and changing their diet and going through intestinal health program, liver and gallbladder cleansing, harmful organism cleansing, all of these things, I've also seen their stress levels go away. So it works both ways. It's like as the more your body becomes clean and the more attention that you pay to your body of becoming healthy, the more confident you are, the more happy you are. You know, you look in the mirror and you smile and you're doing something for yourself. So a lot of times you can deal with stress better, especially if you work in meditation into that routine. But I can tell you that every single person almost that I've evaluated that had cardiovascular issues also had high stress issues. So I would say that, the best natural support for cardiovascular health is dealing with your stress. You know, stress is something that, I tell you, it's all around us. Looking at electromagnetic frequencies cause stress. People are stressed out about social media all the time. I mean, what's somebody going to post next? I mean, they can't wait to get up in the morning. The first thing they do is they grab their phone. Stresses them out. Puts you in a sympathetic state. Watching TV, politics. I mean, I can't tell you how many people have been calling our offices that have been stressed out from just watching what's going on in politics. Reading the news, watching TV, dealing with friends, dealing with it. I mean, everybody's like, it's crazy. I mean, we're living in a world right now where so many people are stressed out. We all have stress. There's eustress, which is actually good stress when you're excited about something, but you're kind of stressed out about it, but it's exciting. And then there's distress, which is stress that's bad for you, which is where you're living in a sympathetic state and you're allowing. It's only a decision that you make. Are you going to allow these things to affect you in a negative way? Because that's you're basically allowing yourself to become stressed out over a situation. And if you think about it, if you go back a week later and you say, why was I so stressed out about that a week ago? You know, everything ends up being okay anyway. And then you're just like, I shouldn't have even been stressed about it. Why did I just waste 5 days being completely stressed out? I mean, everything's going to turn out the way it's going to turn out anyway. So those are my recommendations about the cardiovascular health. And I just want to thank everybody for being online today. Continue to please submit your questions. Hope all these. Leave any comments. And I just want to, if you do like any of these, please share this video with anybody that it might help, so we can try to help as many people as we can. And I hope everybody has a great day, a great week. Be sure to check out our website. Be sure to check out our videos on YouTube. Be sure to check out all the other videos on Facebook. And live healthy. Thank you.